Morning, student. Let us revise our next topic of business studies, that is chapter 2, fuel principles of management. And some of the objective type questions can be asked relating to the background of Henry Fuel. So you must be thorough about the background, as see the his lifespan tenure is 1841 to 1925, and he was a French management theorist. From where he belonged, that is from France, and he graduated with from where he has graduated from the Mining Academy of Saint Etienne in 1860 in mining engineer. Means the main important thing is he is graduated from which background? Mining engineering. The question can be asked ki he belongs, what is his educational background. So you must remember that he was a mining engineer, and then he joined a French mining company in 1860 as an engineer, and he rose to the position of its managing director in 1881. See his promotion, he joined as an engineer, but he retired from the post of managing director. And when he joined that company, that was suffering from bankruptcy, with rich and broad administrative experience, Fuel contributed a lot in turning the fortune of the company. And when he retired, that is when he retired in 1918, the company was in excellent condition. So see what was his experience, and he practically proved that if this way administration is to be taken care, the company can achieve its goal and reach to the top. So now, what was his contribution in the field of management? Foyle found that activities of an industrial organizations can be divided into six groups. What are those six groups? First is technical, commercial, financials, security, accounting, and managerial. And he made clear distinctions between technical and managerial skills, and basically he focused on managerial skills. Means he is known as father of general management, and he focused on how to increase the efficiency of manager, means on managerial skill. And he was the first to identify the four function of management: planning, organizing, directing, and controlling. As we have discussed, there are five functions of management, but he was the first person who identified the four function of management, that was planning, organizing, directing, and controlling. And Foyle not only identified management as a separate field of endeavor, but also developed 14 principles which act as guideline for manager. So what guidelines he has given? By giving us a 14 principle, and all are you can say experimentally proved, even tested also, that if we will follow all these 14 principles, definitely we will achieve our organizational goals and reach at the top. So he is also known as father of general management. So this is what the background about the Henry Fuel. You must know from which field he belongs, what is his contribution in the fields of management, and by he is known as a father of general management. So this some of the important point you must be pointed out about the Henry Fuel. The objective type questions you will get: from which field he is belonging to, what was his contribution, by what he is known as. So these all are the some of the important issues I revised once again. Now come to what are his 14 principle he has given to us. That is also increasing the efficiency of the manager. His main focus was to increase the efficiency of manager. So as I given you the shortcut also to remember all 14 principle, please be remember that, so that it is easy that all 14 principle you can recall. Then let us discuss in brief once again. First was division of work. His emphasis was to divide the work among the workers according to his skill and efficiency, and that leads to specialization, and divide total work into compact job and allocate them to different individuals on the basis of individual interest, skills, efficiency. And second, authority and responsibility, that maintain a balance between authority and responsibility. Authority means to power to execute or do the assigned job, and responsibility is to complete the job on the time. So it should go hand to hand. If responsibility without authority is delivered to the individual, the work will not be completed, and excessive authority without responsibility is the misuse of power. So he given emphasis that there should be a proper balance between authority and responsibility. Third principle, that is discipline. Obedience to rules and regulations of the organization is very important. That organization should be disciplined, there should be a rules and regulations and must be obeyed by the employer as well as employees too. This rules not only for the employees, it should be to the employer also. Then only there should be a cordial relationship between the superior and subordinates can be developed. Next is unity of command. As per him, there should be one boss. Boss should not be more than one, otherwise subordinate or employees will get confused, and no performance, no work will be done by the employee. So order should be given by one superior, and subordinate must know who is his boss. It should be very clear, and whom I am answerable. So this transparency should be there in the organization. Fifth is unity of directions, that is one head and one plan, and efforts of all should be directed towards objective. Means all the department head, there should be one head, and for each department there is a common plan for the person or employees belonging to that group, and all should be motivated to give their 100% to achieve the objectives. So there should be a one head and one plan. That you mean by unity of direction. So objective type questions can be asked. What do you mean by one head and one plan? Either unity of direction, unity of command, or whatever. So your correct answer is unity of direction. Next is subordination of individual interest to general interest. That is, interest of organizations must prevail over individual interest. Means individual interest only be fulfilled if organizational goals will be achieved. So subordinates should be motivated to focus on organizational goals, not on their personal objective. है ना? Give priority, give preference to the organizational goals, and his personal goal can only be achieved if organizational goals will be achieved. So that focus all the interest, individual interest should be directed towards the general interest, है ना? Next is remuneration. Remuneration should be paid to both employees, and pay should be fair to both employees and organization. Means fair here refers to depending upon the turnover, profitability of the organization, that share of profit should be distributed as per the um, as per the return of the organization, and employees should feel satisfied that whatever he is getting, that is fair. Means organization is fairly distributing the share of profit among the employees. And fair here refers to means at least it should fulfill the basic needs of the employees, and if his basic needs like food, clothing and other amenities are not fulfilled, then employees will not be satisfied, and again the employees turnover will increase. Means employees turnover means he will search for the another option where he will get a fair salary and up to the salary that fulfill his minimum or basic needs. So it should be fair. Then is centralization and decentralization that we have already discussed. Centralization here refers to centralization here refers to uh, concentration of power in one hand or few hand, and decentralization means that power is distributed among the subordinate for smooth functioning of the organization. So best example you can see a panchayat system, that single prime minister cannot see the affairs what is going on in the villages. So there is a proper system is developed in the country, and how this can be a village area can be look after by uh, that panchayat system is the best example of decentralization of power. So there should be a balance depending upon the organizational size also. If your organization is very big and it is not possible to look after at the top level all the affairs, so power should be decentralized in the different departments. So proper combination is required. Some of the key areas are under the hand of top level, and some of the important issues that decision is to be taken immediately, then that power should be decentralized. Next is scalar chain. There is a chain of command, that is order from top to bottom. There should be a clear relationship between superior and subordinate. Who is his immediate boss, to whom he is answerable, that should be very clear by the followed in the organization. There should not be a confusing situation, and the way how he a subordinate can give his suggestions to the top, that will pass on through proper chain. And in this we have discussed there is a concept of gangplank also. Suppose if there any emergency arises, immediate decision are to be taken, then there is a criteria that you can directly communicate, but the condition is here key that both the department head should be of same level. And like marketing department can communicate with the production department directly without following this chain. So this concept is developed just to take any immediate actions, any specific suggestions, like marketing manager are very close to the consumers, so he can communicate the demand and choices of the customers to the production department, then only this production can takes place. So this is the concept developed in this scalar chain. You must remember that is known as gangplank. Next is order. Order here refers to everything, not only everything, for every person. Place should be fixed. Order, don't get confused that this is an order relating to a boss is giving order to the employee. The meaning should be very clear, that here order refers to there is should be a fixed place for every person and everything. That will lead to prevent from wasting the time for searching things or the everyone for employees where that person I will get. So there should be a fixed place. There should be a orderliness. Suppose at home also, if you have fixed place for keeping your pen, pencil, book, and suppose you are having a mood to just do the study work, and again you are just wasted your time for searching simply your pen, you are not getting pen how to write. So this is what the wasting of effort. So you must have fixed place for everything, then that will create you the interest for studies also. And again you just after completing your studies, you keep that thing in the right place. This habit you should develop. This will help you to increase your energy and interest for your studies. Am I right? What you am giving you, that there should be a fixed place for each and everything. Then is equity. Equity means there should be a fair treatment with the employees, that not discriminate on the basis of caste, religion, or sex, ki, giving more importance to male, not giving importance to female. Or so then regarding salary, don't discriminate among the male and female, that female they are just optionally they are doing their job, so why they should get a better salary. So this should not be in the organization. As per the skill, as per the efficiency, as per the task done, you just treat them equally. That leaves the that increase the moral of the employees also. And next is stability. Stability of personnel means proper effort to achieve stability and continuity of employees. Means an employee should be given enough time to prove his skill and efficiency, to show his skill and efficiency. And there should be a job security among the personnel, then only he can give his 100% to the organization. Initiative, encourage the workers to make and execute plan time to time, involve the employees in making any decision making plan, and motivate them to give their suggestions. Not only asking the suggestions, sometimes implement their suggestions, give some reward to the employees, those who have given the best solution. So this is all the way how to involve the all the employees in the organization in decision making process, and this will develop the feeling or sense of belongingness, that I am also a part of this organization. And he will make a best effort to achieving in the organizational goals. So this should be the environment. There should be an environment that everyone should take part in decision making. Next is spirit the corps. That here takes place, that there should be a develop of belongingness and feeling of team spirit, that whatever we are achieving, it is not a effort of individual but the efforts of group as a whole. This should be the we are means you just replace I with the we, कि whatever we have achieved, we achieved the goal. Suppose if you scored 99% in board exam, and you will say I'm the one who achieved the goal, but it is not, because you are not the only individual that by your effort only you have achieved 99% in board exam. There is effort of your parents, your teachers, your management, for all those who are directly or indirectly involved in making you to score 90%, the 99%. So this should be the temperament ki we all together achieve, and so many people are there to help me to achieve this goal. So this should be the feeling in the organization. All are equally important, and all team spirit. That team, you know well what is the full form of team. Together everyone achieve more, individually we cannot achieve. There is one kahavat, you know, कि अकेला चना भाड़ नहीं फोड़ता. So this should be the temperament. This is what we have discussed, all 14 principle, and you must remember all 14 principle and their meaning in the correct sense. So this is what all about the fuel 14 principle of management. Please go through it. thorough in each and every principle. And this is all about this topic. Thank you so much and take